Today, I'm going to be listening to a brand new double album, which I believe is also the debut album for the band The Joke J. This is Awaken.
Daddy, wake up!
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another album review / reaction here on my channel. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for watching for the very first time. I have to say right off the bat, I'm not too sure how you are going to listen along with me to this album. If you're unfamiliar with how I do my videos here, usually what I do is I take the CD, put it in my CD player, listen all the way through, and in the link of the description of this video, I will include usually a link to listen along with me on Spotify. However, in this case, as far as I'm aware, at least in the United States, this album, this double album, is not available on Spotify, at least not here in the United States. I don't know. I don't think that it's available on Apple Music. I could be wrong. I do know, however, that this album is available on Bandcamp. So what I'll probably end up doing is share the Bandcamp link. And I've never tried to listen to a full album on Bandcamp before. I know that it does play full songs. I don't know if there's a limit. I don't think that there is. So if you want to listen along to this album with me, like I said, I recommend you do that. Try to follow whatever link I provide. I'll try to make sure I can give you a link that will work to be able to listen to the entire album. Another thing that'll be in the description of this video, however, and something to note, is that I will include timestamps for all the different relevant sections throughout this video. At the beginning of the video, I usually like to talk about bands and what I like about them, my favorite albums, if they have any, up to this point. In this case, I'll be talking about the band And One for a little bit at the beginning, and then I'll get into the album, and then, like I said, afterwards, I'll do my overall thoughts on my review. So if you just want to skip to that, if you can't listen along with me, that's fine. If you have a favorite song off this album that you would like to hear my reaction to, you can skip to that particular song. Like I said, all those relevant timestamps will be in the description of this video. So, not sure exactly how this is going to work. What I do know for certain, though, is that I am incredibly excited to listen to this album. I don't want to waste too much time here at the beginning because this is the first time I've actually done a double album reaction here on my channel, and it is my intention to sit and listen to both of these albums, or this entire album, this double album, both discs, if you will. I believe it is 21 songs. It is my intention to sit here and listen to all of that with you right now. I do have another double album that I need to be doing my review of in the very near future as we're getting closer to the end of the year here, and that's the Lord of the Lost double album, Judas. And so I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that one either. I assume based on how this one will go, it will kind of dictate that. While we're talking about things that I have coming up on my channel, I'm also going to be doing the new Damon Albarn album, and where I'm also going to be doing the new Diablo Swing Orchestra album when I actually get my copy of that in the mail. I'm having some difficulty getting that, and I've contacted the band, and they are looking into why my CD has been delayed in the mail, but hopefully I get that soon and I can do that. I also have, I believe, just got this in the mail today, the brand new Dave Gahan and the Soul Savers album. I'm excited to listen to that. And also, I need to get to it eventually, the newest Star Set album. So that's all stuff that I have coming up on my channel in the future. Also, the Lord Huron album that came out this year. I've been saving that one as well. But, as I said, I'm incredibly excited for this album, and I found out about it because on Facebook I follow one of my favorite bands of all time, And One. And for you, those of you who are unfamiliar with And One, I can't believe you'd be watching this video if you're not, but just in case you're not, they are, like I said, one of my absolute favorite bands. They started in the very late 80s, early 90s, and they have been doing music that sounds very similar to me, like the music Depeche Mode would be making if Depeche Mode kept making music in the style that they were making in the mid to late 80s. So sort of if you think, Music for the Masses, or Black Celebration, I believe. Is that the name of the... Anyway, I think you understand what I'm saying. Music that sounds like it's sort of 80s throwback, sort of synthwave, but also some industrial mixed in there as well. And I think we're going to get a little bit more of the industrial with more guitar usage on this album. But anyway, I follow And One on Facebook, and they were posting on there that the members of And One had been releasing some side projects this year. And so I tried as hard as I could to follow the links and to find this music. And for The Joke Jay, which is the album we're going to be reacting to today, I could only really find a YouTube page with a couple of videos on it, one of which I believe mentioned that this album's been in the works for like 5 years or so. And I believe what it is one of the members of And One, which I'm pretty sure there are 3 members of And One, and one of the members, this is his sort of like side project. So that's kind of what I anticipated it to be. And like I said, I followed the threads online, found out about the album, and couldn't really find any samples of anything. I knew that the album was going to be released on October 29th. And so I was kind of waiting for that day to approach. I found on Amazon that I could order it, several weeks before that, but I was waiting to see if it came out in sort of like a bigger release on Spotify or anywhere that you can listen to music. But all I could find was the Bandcamp link, like I mentioned earlier, to listen to the songs that way. And so I listened to some of the songs, and I didn't listen to the entire thing. I just listened to a little bit, and I absolutely loved everything that I heard. It reminded me of all my favorite parts of And One, with a different singer, different vocals, and I really loved the vocalist for And One. And I don't necessarily know if, from what I heard, the vocals on this are going to be necessarily as good, but I did like them a lot. I thought they fit the music, and there was like a heaviness to it, big sounding drums, big beats, with still keeping that 80s drum influence, it sounds like, and lots of guitars, and just a plethora of songs, a lot of songs, some of which were very long. And so I just got really excited, and I decided to take the risk and purchase the album off Amazon. And so this album here is actually, I believe, the 3rd most expensive album that I have ever purchased, on CD at least. So real quick, one other thing I want to mention before we get into this is the background here. I want to mention this before I forget. I am currently in the process of cleaning the whole basement, the area where I record my videos. And this is sort of the area I've been setting up to do my recording, but I don't have the lights figured out or anything yet. I don't have the camera positioned or anything like that. So I'm just kind of throwing this together so I can do this video. So just be aware of that. I apologize if I'm dark, or if the lights are totally, blinding you, or if I have to tone everything down or bring everything up. I don't know what's going to happen, but I apologize for that in advance. So real quick, before we get into the actual album here, I want to talk just a little bit about my love for the band And One. These are the albums of theirs that I've been able to get on CD form. Of course, we have Trilogy, their 3 albums, Achtung 80, Magnet, and Propeller, I believe it is. Their triple album that came out in 2015, I want to say 2014. 2014, yes. Which is the last music that was released by this band. So it's now been, 7 years? So we need a new And One album, hopefully sometime. But then I have Stop, which is their album that came out before that. I have Tanzomat. I have Body Pop. And then I also have an older album of theirs. This one is called Virgin Superstar. And I bought this album specifically because I absolutely love the song Don't Need the Drugs. I absolutely love that song, and bought the album because of it, and I absolutely love the whole album. So there we go. So with that being said, I love every song on every single one of these albums. And One is absolutely one of my favorite bands. Over time, I do want to get their back catalog as well. So I'm always on the lookout for copies that I can find of the rest of their music. And so, kind of like I said, I just anticipate this album being something that I really like a lot. There is a darker tone that sort of runs through the entire And One catalog. They, as a band, sort of exude this sort of darker tone, but there's also a little bit of sort of tongue-in-cheek to it as well. They do have serious songs. They have love songs and things like that, but like I said, they all have this sort of like darker or sinister twist to them. And so that's one of the aspects that I really love, along with all the sort of synth sounds, the sort of throwback analog 80s synth stuff. I absolutely love and adore all of that. And so, yeah, that's what I'm expecting to get from this album. So, without further ado, I don't want to talk too long. Let's get into this. Before we do, though, I just want to take and open my pop, my beverage here. I am so excited for this album. This is a very big deal for me. I anticipate that this album could end up being my number one album of this year. It certainly, I hope, will be in my top 12, and it would have to do several things very wrong to not make it in my top 12, even though I have a lot of really good albums that I've heard this year, and it's going to be tough for me to make my top 12 albums of the year list, which is something I do on my channel here. You can go check out the rest of my channel for my years past. I've been doing it now. This will be my 11th year. Last year in 2020, I did a big celebration and did my top 12 albums of the previous decade from 2010 to 2020. So go check any of that out on my channel if you want. But I have my favorite drink in the whole world, Mountain Dew Voltage. And I have my favorite way to drink it, which is with a tiny little bit of cherry Kool-Aid ice in the bottom of my glass, in case you're wondering what the red is. And I've sat here and talked long enough that the ice is no longer attached to the bottom, so we're going to get it mixing right away. And that's great, because here's to you and here's to a good album. Oh, yeah, that's good. So let's take the CD, put it in, and let's get going, because this is going to be a double album, like I said. This is disc 1. Disc 2 is over here. They're clearly labeled with a 1 and a 2. Not sure if you can see. Like I said, the lighting is not the best now, but I'll try to fix that in future videos. I have already taken the book out. Oops. Forgot to take the CD that was in there out. I'm going to take and put that in one of these boxes for now. Cases. All right. Like I said, I have taken the book out. I have looked at it. I know all the lyrics are in here. I may refer to that as we're going through and listening. Got the headphones. Very excited for this. I expect very high quality production in terms of the sounds that we're hearing. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be anything crazy or out of the ordinary for sort of what I'm expecting based on the And One albums, but I do expect it to be crisp, clear production with really good drum sounds. So, all right, I'm hitting play. I got to adjust my chord here a little bit. Track 1 starting right now. Okay, we're starting off with a little bit of some trumpets. It sounds probably trumpet patch being played on a keyboard. In the book here, we have listed, where was it? Oh, not in the book. In the, we have the Joke J. We have 3 members. Joke J himself, Olaf Vollschlager. I apologize. I do not speak German. I should mention that, even though I love And One and lots of other German bands like We Butter the Bread with Butter or Lord of the Lost. And then also Hilton Thiessen, and I apologize if I pronounce any of that wrong. Recorded at Railroad Track Studios, Cotton Beast Studio, and Wide Noise Studio. Doesn't say where that's at. Just says produced by Olaf Vollschlager. And that's pretty much all the information in the CD case. And then in the book, there... Love it. I love that synth spread very wide. Ooh, love that. Whoa. Daddy, wake up. Ooh, that low frequency is nice. Yes. Oh, yeah. Hit me with it. Yes. Ooh, that big kick. That great synth bass. Okay. Okay, we have a little bit of a what sounds like a guitar patch. That's one of the other things that I love about And One. They are not afraid to use patches that sound like they're not afraid to use sounds from a keyboard that are like fake sounds of instruments, and I love that. It adds to that 80s feel. I'm not going to just read the lyrics the whole time, but it might reference them every now and then. I did notice that 2 of the songs had swear words in the title, which I've said on my channel here before a lot. Nice. A lot of vocal overdubs there. Very nice. Nice. Little keyboard synth line here. Sounds like a piano. Oh, yes. Adding to the harshness of the bass sound. Drums sound fantastic. One thing I will mention, to me, it sounds like the hi-hat is off to the right a little bit, which I always prefer when hi-hats are off to the left. Turn it down a smidge. I like it when music is mixed from the perspective of the drummer rather than the producer or someone looking at the drummer. It's kind of fun to always pay attention to that aspect of how a song is mixed. Because I always, like I said, even though I'm not really a drummer, I did play drums in high school for pep band and whatnot. I always prefer to hear a song from the drums to be mixed from a drummer's perspective in terms of where they're panned. You know, crash cymbal, maybe crash cymbal, floor tom on the right, hi-hat off to the left, snare, kick in the middle. This track, by the way, is called Awake, which is the title of the double album. Ooh. Okay, that sounds like a real guitar, so I'm assuming that that is real guitar there in the middle. Ooh, we get a little solo? You know, I've found myself wondering whether or not I wanted And One to start using more guitars in their music every now and then. And I believe on Magnet, they did use guitar a lot more. On the trilogy, their triple album trilogy, they used more guitar on Magnet, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. It did sort of lend to the sort of Depeche Mode-y-ness of the sound. So I really enjoyed that. But I also don't mind it when the songs are just fully electronic the whole time. Once I saw that some of the songs were a little bit longer, there were guitars and things, I expected this album to be a little bit more sort of progressive sounding almost. I really, as I get older, one thing I notice is that my taste is definitely steering more towards longer songs that take their time to develop and that are very patient. I love it when a band can be patient with their songs, which is one thing Depeche Mode has always done. One thing I will say is that I do not like fade outs whatsoever, so I do not want any of the songs on here to fade out. But at the same time, fading songs out is coming back in style a little bit, so we'll have to see. Ooh, that was nice. It was either a vocoder or a very, very effect-heavy vocal track. I loved it. I love this. Again, like I just said, it's giving the songs time to build. The first track off Magnet really did that. I can't remember what that song's called. Let me check. Love Needs a Saving Hand. Yes, I love it. Love that song. Really gave that song time to build. Oh, amazing. Oh, 7 minutes and 20 seconds, that song. Holy cow. Track 2, right away with guitars. Interesting. Oh, okay. This song says music David Bowie, lyrics David Bowie. So apparently this is a David Bowie cover. And so I have to confess that I am not very familiar with David Bowie's music at all. And the few songs that I have heard, I didn't really care for that much. I heard a song off of Heathens, I believe, that I really, really love. At that point, I believe David Bowie was a little older, and his voice is a little deeper, and I enjoyed that. But obviously, I've heard Major Tom, things like that. Don't really care for the song Major Tom that much, but... Oh, those synth basses are just so perfect. I love it. That's one of my favorite parts of And One as well. Those synth bass lines, just so cool. So massive sounding. But there's a lot of definition to them. It's very nice sounding. Now, at the end of the... Love it. What I was going to say was, in the back, there is one extra little page of credits in the booklet here. And all it says is additional guitars by Hannes Connections. Can't pronounce it at all. Very sorry. But so far, in the 2 songs I've heard, the guitars are really nice. So if he played any of that, that's great. But then it says Yes or No by DJ, D-I-G-A-Y, DJ. Interesting. So I don't know what Yes or No is. Okay, track 2. Oh. Wow. Love it. Going back to the chorus again. I love it. I like the tambourine off to the side. That sounds like real tambourine that was recorded for the song, so that means they weren't opposed to using some analog sounds other than just the... And that was nice drum fill, too. You know, it's interesting, but if you listen to a lot of modern music, the drum fill is something that has sort of been forgotten because so many songs have programmed drums. And the person who's programming the drums isn't programming in, tom fills and things like that very much. That's nice. The drums here sound great. So that sounds like there might be an actual drummer drumming, and then they took and replaced the drums. There was also some acoustic guitar on that track, too. Very nice. Okay, so that's track 2. Track 3 coming up. Most of the Tears. Okay, we're starting off with a little bit of a synth pad. Kind of a hopeful feeling. Reverse piano. Okay. Nice. Yes. Love it. Give me those famous sampled vocal patches from the keyboards. Love it. I'm assuming there will be one or two. Okay. Dude, love it. Love the toms. Yes. Ooh, that's nice. The combination of that timpani sort of sound with the synth behind it. That big spread out synth. There's some brass patches in there. Acoustic guitar. Okay, kick and snare coming in. Ooh, nice tasty guitar lick. This is great. I love the vocal melody. Oh. Oh, that synth line in the back. Doop, da, doo, doo, da, da, doo. Oh, I love that reverse there. Love it. Oh. Oh, yes. Love it. The sort of double time delay echo on the bass there, or that synth line. Nice. We got multiple hi-hat patterns, rhythms going. The vocals have this very 80s feel to them in that they are not perfect. And that gives it sort of a character. And so far, I'm liking everything that I'm hearing. I'll see. I want to pay more attention to the vocals. I'm going to be done with my pop before we reach song 5. So far, every song has been very different from the last one, and I really enjoy that. I love albums when that's the case. And I also love a band when they feel like they can experiment. Yes, we have drum fills going on. This is great. Definitely real drums happening. Ooh, sound effect of some thunder. Yes, I love those big filter sweep synths with the sweep on them. Ew. Love it. 4 minutes, 45 seconds so far. Love it. Nice acoustic guitar there. Very, very nice. Okay, track 4. The Darkest. Give it to me. What do you got? Interesting. Very cool, very dissonant sounding synths there, or some guitar. Yeah. Ooh, the drums sound really nice. Very unsettling sounding, those chord changes there. And that deep, droning low note. I'm so excited that there are real sounding drums on this album. I didn't expect that at all. So that's cool. That adds a whole dimension that is very nice. Ooh. This is nice. It reminds me of something, but I can't quite think what. I am absolutely loving the production, though. Absolutely. Yes. Oh, that's nice. That shaker. Like it. I love it. I love what I'm hearing because there are things that sound close and there are things that sound far away, which obviously is what those are elements that happen a lot in a lot of music. But the way everything is being used, things sound like it was things. Your ear is drawn to the things that are close, but the things that are in the background are just as integral to what you're hearing, what you're perceiving as being the close things, because they're filling in space of the mix, which I'm sort of explaining something that's sort of generic in a lot of, very common in a lot of songs, but the way this is being put together is very nice. It feels like I'm standing looking at the band performing, and you can kind of picture where everyone is playing everything. It's very nice. And the production is such that even though it doesn't feel like the songs should be able to get bigger. They do. They get bigger during the choruses. There are parts added on the sides. Everything is balanced very nicely, though nothing feels like it's off balance at all. I mean, this sounds masterfully done. It really does. And I don't say that lightly. I really hope that you find a way to listen to this album. If you're with me so far and you're listening here on track 4, you probably have. But trust me, you want to hear this. I'm excited to listen to this album on my stereo system that I have set up. I love my headphones, and I think listening to music on headphones, nice headphones, is the best way you can do it. But there is also something very nice to listening to music on good speakers as well. Okay, 5 minutes. Track 5 right now. And it says, I know. I know. Okay, nice little ping pong slap echo delay there. But also 2 vocal tracks. Multiple vocal takes there with some overdubs. I'm going to finish my pop here. Oh. Oh, I liked that. I knew this was going to be a special album. I just knew it. I felt it in my gut. I would not spend $27 on very many albums, but I think that I did myself a service. I think I did really good. Okay, electronic drums fully. Yes, love that that fast synth bass. Oh yes, just keep building it. This is reminding me a little bit of VNV Nation. Love that group, that band. If you're liking this, what you're hearing right now, electronic music in general, and you don't know who VNV Nation is, if you enjoy electronic music, you probably should know. Yes, and it just keeps getting bigger and expanding in ways. The mix keeps expanding in ways that I don't think that it could. Until this part we got to right here, which sounds probably like a chorus. The kick drum was sort of low passed. There were less high frequencies on it. But then when this kicked in, this part of the song kicked in, the kick drum felt more massive. It felt bigger. It had more punch to it. And that's what it needs if you want the different parts of the song to ebb and flow. And now we get a little guitar. Love it. So tasty. I need to stop saying love it every 10 seconds. I was editing my most recent video, which is for the newest Zac Brown Band album. As different from this as possible. Without being metal, I guess. But I noticed that I say love it a lot, so need to stop that. Yes. Nice. Definitely real guitar. It'd be nice if some of the songs had guest female vocals. I really enjoy the And One songs that do that, but I don't see any female vocals listed in here, so I don't think that'll be the case. But, and I think I just thought that now because I heard some more shouty background vocals, and I was like, be cool if that was like a little bit of a more chorus feeling with some ladies in there too. But really nice though. You can definitely feel the background building. Love it. Okay. Track 6 right now. This is All the Pigs. This could be a more angry song. There's a lot of lyrics in here for this song, so heck yeah, bring it on. Love it with the sweep here. The frequency sweeps. Unsettling. Huge, massive synth bass in the background coming up. Filter sweep on that too, very slow. Love it. It feels like a siren, really. Okay. Oh yeah. Some samples. New World Order. Love it. Is this song gonna just explode on me here? Feels like it could. Yes. Love the groove. The drums have such weight to them. Ooh. Ooh, I love that sort of like choral sample there. Oh, nice. This song feels epic. I'm just assuming based off what the lyrics have been so far that this is sort of a politically driven song. Maybe not necessarily political, but just sort of like societal, being fed up with society sort of a song. I love this vocal here. That's nice. Sung a little different style. This is there's something that this reminds me of, and I'm trying to place it. Okay, now we have a bit more of this song, a little bit more of a hopeful feeling. Yeah, bring in the groove. Yes. Massive. Sounds amazing. Love it. Love that vocal. That reminds me a little bit of Dead Z. I think that's what it is. Not so much the sound, but just the way that that resolved itself there. We're at 5 minutes and 15 seconds. I love that choral sample, that choir sample. Very nice. I assume it's a sample. It sounds like real vocals as a sample. Oh, very nice resolution there. Left it sort of with a hopeful feeling. All right, track 7, going right into it. Love it. Love this right away. This is the wisdom of a captain's heart. Okay. And the picture in the background here is someone walking on a beach, so oh, I love this. That very dry, very simple, minimalistic sort of synth sound. Okay, now we have this sort of more, that background sort of tone, sort of like a choral. Nice. Okay, some distorted drums in the back. I love me some distorted drums. Love, love, love. Distorted drums, patterns, drum fills, really any sort of drums, distorted drum stuff, drum loops and whatnot. Okay. Okay, now the vocals sound very different here. Almost much clearer. Maybe used with a different microphone or something. This is reminding me of the band Camouflage, whom I absolutely love. There are not a lot of bands that I would like put together in a category with and one. Camouflage, definitely one of them. And the guys from Camouflage, sort of newer band, Mine, M-I-N-E. Okay, this is a much more of a slower sort of, obviously slower than the last song, but love that. Octave lower vocal overdubs. Very nice. And it's doubled in one panned left, panned wide. Left and right. Ooh. Oh. Very tasty synth. I will say the production on this song sounds like it might be the best produced song so far. Definitely sounds a little different than the previous songs, but I don't think those sounded bad at all. I think the vocals are a little louder. There's certain elements here that are standing out to me a little bit more. Like I said, I do think that I saw online, there was a video where you sort of the behind the scenes of this album. It was only a few minutes long, and I believe it was in German. But there were words on the screen, and one of them had said 5 years in the making, I believe. So if this album was made in pieces over the last 5 years or so, excuse me, and then they were allowed to finish this album maybe last year due to the pandemic, then it's possible some of this stuff was recorded at different times in different studios. So far, though, it does sound very consistent. I'm just pointing out it could totally be mixing and stuff. Doesn't have to mean, because it sounds a little different, doesn't have to mean that it was recorded at a different time. It could have just be mixed a little different. Love all the real drums. Love when everything kicks in and hits. Everything has a very nice... not intense, a very nice attacks. Everything has a very nice, clear, transient. The moments that are supposed to hit, they hit nice and hard without being overwhelming. Oh. I hope this album wins awards. It should. Love it. That's a cool patch. Sort of like a bell with sort of like a tinny sort of sound. Tinny sort of sound. Okay, the next song is Shut the F Up. I assume that will probably be a more angry song as well. Love that. Oh, yes. Yes, that was a very cool way to end that. Track 8. How angry are we going to get? Oh, love that drum pattern. Nice. The hi-hat here is very nice. The drums are being played like a real person would play them with a rock band in a rock band. Yeah. Yes, massive. Yes. Oh, man. Yes, this is great. It's reminding me a little bit of, there's guitar, so it's a little different, but the few VNV Nation songs where they get aggressive, like Control or Nemesis, those songs just make me want to fight someone. They just make me want to just destroy. And this a little bit to a lesser degree, but yes, same vibes. That's nice. That hoop, hoop, hoop. That. Gosh, I just love the synths all over the place, which is exactly what I would expect from someone in the band and one who have probably the best sounding synths out there. Give it to me. Love it. Love it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, oh, that's good. Love it. Did not expect this. Heck yes. Oh, this sounds like a fun song, baby. Love the drums here. Sound great. Love the vocoder. Love it. And that sounds like a bass guitar riff. Oh, this is so awesome. A lot of guitars here. A band could get on a stage and play this without any electronic instruments. Well, electric guitar, but without any electronic stuff whatsoever. And that's really cool. And to have a song like this on an album, the album we've heard thus far, and to have it fit is really nice. That really speaks to the mixing, to the editing and the mixing of this album. Having all these different sound sources, all these different instruments, these different sounds, putting them together and having it be so different from song to song and still having it feel like a cohesive album. That's great. This is so fun. I love this song. Very nice driving feel. The drums sound very real. The cymbals sound great. Yes. Keep it going. Again, how can this song get bigger? And yet it does. It's amazing. It's amazing mixing. Okay, track 10 here on the first one. This is No Place Like Home. This is the last track on disc 1. Love it. Great sound effects. Okay, some piano and guitar. I can't believe that we're only halfway through. Even if the whole second disc sucked, which I'm pretty sure it's not going to, even if it sucked, this would still be a fantastic and special album. Love this. Oh boy. Lower register vocals. We are approaching typo negative almost territory there. Gothic-y sounding. This is great. Nice drums. The drums sound nice here. Ooh. Okay, we have an acoustic guitar. It sounds like playing on a pretty high register up the guitar. It could be a patch on a keyboard, duplicating what the guitar is playing on the right side on the left. Okay. Nice. We're getting a bit of a hopeful feeling here. La la. Is that it? We're 3 minutes, 30 seconds in. Like a plane flew over or something almost. Oh, that was ominous sounding. And massive. That was great. Guitar, a lot of reverb. A little bit of delay on it as well. That's a very awesome sounding guitar tone. Yeah. Oh, that is a distorted synth, and it's great. Oh, we have some brass. Now the plane's flying the other way. Oh, because there's no place like home. So we went on the journey, and now we're heading back. Okay, now we're back to that crazy... That is such a cool sound. Okay. Yep, we went on the journey. Gotcha. Okay, now we're back. Awesome. I just, I know I haven't said anything for a while, but I'm in awe. Okay. Got some synths in there. Wow. Wow. Okay. End of disc 1. This is amazing. I cannot believe we're only halfway through. This is a treat. This is amazing. Okay, I'm going to take a break for a second. I suggest maybe you do the same. If you were able to follow me and listen along there with me, you probably need a break as well too, because we just had basically an hour of fantastic music. So let's take a break for a second. I'll be back with you in just a minute, but if you want, pause the video, go do whatever. Come back, watch the rest of it at another time. Before we get into it, I'm going to speak a little bit here, but like I said, I'm going to go maybe get another drink and do a couple things. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I refilled my drink. I now have some Walmart sparkling water, the red, white, and blue flavor, whatever it's called. And I don't want to talk very long before I get into disc 2, because this video is going to be so long. I don't think I'll cut it in half, but if I did cut it in half, it just would have been the beginning of the second half now. But I just want to say that I am so glad my instincts were right. Spending the amount of money that I did on this album is absolutely worth it. And I know maybe to you, $27 isn't a lot of money, but to me, $27 is a lot of money. I am an incredibly poor person, but I don't feel like I wasted my money, not a penny of it. It was very well spent in this case. I am shocked that we got all the acoustic guitars and acoustic, like real drums that we got. I was not expecting that at all. And the fact that this isn't just like more and one, it is more than that. Like I was kind of wondering the whole time. Pink Floyd kind of came up several times to me in terms of like scope and the long songs and just letting it build, but also just almost sort of like this prog rock feel, maybe some classic rock, but mixed with that a little bit is always these incredible synths, the great synth basses, the intense songs, the harsh songs with the distorted guitar. It is hard to have synthetically created elements and acoustic created sounds and putting those things together and having it all sound very nice and cohesive. A lot of bands do it, but it's not that easy. And when you get truly something special is when you have where you can't really tell the blending of they blend together so well that you don't know if you're listening to electronic music anymore or if you're listening to a rock band. And my friend and I, when we talk about different styles of music, one of the special things that we've talked about in the past is when you have an electronic band who uses real drums and real instruments, like acoustically created instruments, things recorded with a microphone rather than programmed or, using a keyboard to input the notes. When you have an electronic band using rock elements, that is very special, because usually it's the other way around. Very more common to have a rock band or a metal band or a band of some kind using synthetic elements, electronic elements. But to have it the other way, that doesn't happen as much. And it's just like Apoptygma Berserk is one of the examples of that I can think of doing it, to just like, there's so few bands that sound like them that have that feeling. Boom Boom Satellites is another one that did that. They got a little bit more electronic as they went on, but they always used this sort of like acoustic drum samples in ways that other bands to this day, I've never heard anything like it. But there aren't very many bands like that. And I think that's one of the reasons this is special. The other reason this is special is just the amount, the variety on there. Okay, so let's listen to disc 2. I didn't want to talk too long, and I've already talked longer than I was anticipating. So, all right, disc 1 is down. It's amazing. Already, this would definitely be on my top 12. I don't know if it would be number 1, but I can't imagine it won't be number 1. Like I said, unless there's some crazy thing on this album, some way it's different in somehow. But yeah, we got disc 2 here. So let's see what we got. Okay, Joke J, Awaken, disc 2, hitting play right now. I'll tell you when it starts. Track 1, now. Okay. So we are at Invasion. Okay. Shh, they're coming. Very nice. That legit scared me. Okay, nice pattern there on the snare, like sort of like a military. Oh boy. I wonder if there'll be sort of a theme to this. Other than that it's freaking fantastic. Oh my goodness. Oh. Nice. I love that. In the first verse, it was fire. In the second verse, it's desire. Desire. Love it. Rhyming with the first verse, keeping the same rhyming scheme. That's awesome. Oh, nice. Ooh, cool. Vocal pitch shift manipulation there. Spoken word. Keychain, maybe? Key change, maybe? Oh my god, track 2, dear lord. Ugh, I love it! Yes. This is track 2, this is No Future. Oh. So this is just an instrumental, okay. I figured there would be an instrumental song because there's 11 on this. Let's see how many we got. 1. Nine. So maybe we get two more another instrumental after this one. Maybe the last track on the album. I love it. This kind of connects to the connected to the very end of the first song, Invasion. So this is like they've invaded and they're destroying us because this song is destroying me right now. Love the kick, love the pattern. Oh, that weird dissonant synth thing happening off to the left. Was it a guitar? Could have been. And someone laughing, it sounded like. Okay, track 3. This is Sorry for You. I'm not sorry for myself. I'll tell you that right now. This is fantastic. Oh. Still a massive kick, but then that snare is just that little tss, tss, you know, so it brings the whole thing back down. And then there's that synth bass in the back and the sort of floatiness in the background. Vocals sound nice and clear here. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. So tasty. Nice vocal rhythm too. Oh. The vocals here are reminding me of something. Maybe it's an And One song. Nice. Now we have all of a sudden acoustic guitar and piano, and so what's happened is the whole song has changed the way it felt, really. A nice little synth there, pan to the right slightly. Nice. This is another one that definitely feels like it's a band performing, and that's very nice. Like I said, I was not expecting that. I was expecting this to be electronic music. And I think at its core, like I said, this is still electronic music. But basically, what I'm hearing now, not a lot of electronic stuff going on. That's what's so special. Nice. Oh. All right. There's some like Depeche Mode sounding rhythmic things happening with different sort of reverbs and things. Like the very beginning of Shouts of Joy, which is one of my absolute favorite And One songs. And they do that a lot. And One does. Depeche Mode, you know, did it. I don't know if they were the first band to do that, or if they were influenced by someone, but in my head, it's a very Depeche Mode thing to do. Very tasty ending there. That's nice. So now here we have the second song with the swearing in the title. Whoa! Strings! Whoa! Wow, that bass. Wow, the bass. Oh my goodness. The background vocals sound great here. I mean, literally everything I'm hearing sounds great. Awesome. Really cool little string part there. I think that's the first time we've heard that kind of a sound. Nice little filter sweep on what's happening in the background there. And it's moving a little bit to the right for me. Still going that way. This is awesome. What are we going to do for a bridge here? And I just have to shout out the fact that every song has had a bridge. I have heard so many albums this year where bands were just like, we're not going to have bridges in our songs anymore. It's just going to be 2 parts, just a verse and a chorus, and that's all. We'll just go verse, chorus, and that's it. Thank you, Joke J, for structuring your songs the way they have been classically structured, but filling those sections as full as possible, making every song special and unique, and oh my gosh. Wow. That little, like slap there. If you would have said there's going to be some slap bass on this album, I would have been like, no, there's not. But, yes, slap my face, there is slap bass. Shout out to Davey504. That string stab on the left there. Nice. Okay, that's track... We're already on track 4, all right. Track 5, Dead Planet. Love it. Okay. Yes. Synth bass, baby. Love the synth bass sound. Ooh, brass patches, love it. It sounds really nice. Wonder if it's... Oh, that was really nice. When it changed there sort of halfway through the chorus and hitched itself up a little bit. I loved that. That nice little string sort of high-pitched synth in the back there. Just doing a little slow melody. Adding the off-time hi-hats. Not off-time, but off-beat. During the second half of the verse here. Also adding some guitar on the left. Sounds like it could be a patch. Keyboard patch. Yeah. Fly. Interesting tom sound there. I love this. I love the second half of the chorus. The tambourine. Snare sounds great too. I don't know if this is true exactly, but it feels like this disc, second disc 2, is a little bit more playful so far. I would say this is maybe one of my favorite songs. Wow. Wow. Neat. Great sounding strings. Big, lush sounding strings. Are we going to get a bridge, or is this song going to be done? It felt like it built up. It's over. Cool, though. Nice. That was really nice. Okay, this is Hello, Mother Earth. Piano. A lot of effect on it. Nice delay. With almost like a sort of a falling. Whoa. Oh, that's sort of like that. It almost sounds like someone stepping on gravel or crunching gravel. That where the snare hit would be. That's very nice. Okay. Haha. Very nice reserved vocal there. A lot of effect. Nice little drum beat going on too. That sort of like hi-hat tambourine. The vocals here sound a little bit more like And One, I would say. The vocals are reminding me of something, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is. I love it when he sings with that sort of deeper bass voice. That's very nice. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was so massive. Ooh, nice tasty guitar lick. Heck yeah. Oh, I love it. Little synth lead part, sort of like a synth string sound. Tambourine's back. Ooh. Little palm muted guitar part, loved it. This second disc so far has felt a lot more sci-fi themed, which is kind of nice. I'm not a huge space sci-fi fan, but doesn't matter when I'm listening to music. Very cool and interesting themes. Very cool patch there. Turning the distortion up. Like a digital distortion. Nice piano there. There's something about a piano that just has that sort of sci-fi feel, which is really interesting because a piano is such an acoustically like grounded classical instrument. I don't know if it was like a movie soundtrack at some point that like got that in the subconscious. You know, when you hear the piano, the high single notes on the piano, that equals sci-fi. I don't know. Ooh, nice little effect there. Okay, track 7, Day 1. Love it, very fast. Where are we going to go with this? Okay, it's 4 to the floor. Here we go. We haven't had almost no really like distorted heavy guitar on this half of the album yet. Maybe there won't be any. Ooh, that's cool. Gosh, I just love really cool and interesting synth sounds. It's like, how did you create those sounds? You know, when you're using a guitar, you're at the mercy of what the guitar can sound like mixed with the amps and your pedals and whatnot. But when you're using a synth sound, yes, you're at the mercy of your keyboard, your instruments, but like, it could be anything. So how do you choose those specific sounds to go with what you've already... So massive. So that song started with the chorus, I think. So in the booklet, the lyrics to the song start when the first verse started. They didn't have the chorus first. I assume they will have the chorus lyrics listed a little bit later. I couldn't find them while they were happening. And then, that's nice. You know, you don't need to reprint the chorus verses, or the chorus lyrics all 3 times. Nice. That's cool. That's a cool chorus. Love it. Everything dropped out. I like that. Just have this sort of synth thing going with some filters and whatnot on it, turning some knobs. Nice. A little guitar there with some delay on it. Echo. Gosh, it just sounds so good. The production is so good. The mixing is so good. I mean, and that has been true the whole time with a bevy of different instruments. I know I mentioned that several times, but it shouldn't go unsaid. It shouldn't go unnoticed. I'm really scared that no one will ever see this part of the video. You know, I'm sitting here listening to this fantastic album. And as far as I know, you can't hear this album on Spotify. I don't know how many people know this band even exists. But this is amazing. every song is fantastic and full and meaty, and then there's just so much substance. Every song sounds perfect. It sounds perfect. Great. All right. Track 8, Demons. Okay, Demons. This could be a heavy song. I don't know. Interesting. Just acoustic guitar. Sounds like possibly recorded in stereo. Nice. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that little off time sort of sound off to the left. That is everything to this beat that's happening here. Love it. Bringing in some high frequencies there. The acoustic guitar is still going. Vocal patches, sounds like. Distorted in the back, low pass. Guitar coming up on the left. Wow. Oh, that guitar riff. Wow. That bass, that like synth bass thing in there too. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking all these things in my head and I'm not really saying very much out loud, but I just, oh. There's a little bit more of that sort of typo negative, really deep vocals there. A little gothic-y sounding. Nice sort of piano patch there. Ooh. That was cool. The acoustic guitar is coming back here for the bridge. Okay. Wow. Okay, this could be just verse 2. Nice. Sort of a 90s sounding guitar patch with lots of some chorusing on it, chorusing effect. Nice distortion there. I love that pause. I love it. Okay, are we going to get a bridge here then? Could just kind of keep it going a little bit. Guitar. Or a synth. I think it's synth. Synth part. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. So his third chorus here. And there's sort of a polyrhythm vocal going with it. There's a whole additional vocal part there behind it. Very nice. Gives it a feeling of building. Really feeling the drums and the guitars on this one. It sounds like a band. The previous song sounded like an awesome four to the floor, intense electronic song. And the fact that this song is following that song and it still feels like the same project is amazing. Oh, that synth bass thing in the middle. What an interesting and weird part there that's very cool. It's like off time just a tiny bit. Which hit... Nice guitar there. A lot of cool, like, spring reverb. The acoustic guitar coming back. Wow. What a cool song. Two amazing songs in a row. Totally different. Okay, this is My Friend. I wonder if we'll get a song that's like just a ballad the whole time. I'm wondering. This already is amazing with a little slide there on the guitar. Something that you couldn't do synthetically, and so that gives it automatically a cool feeling. Acoustic guitar. A lot of pick noise in the acoustic guitar, so definitely not the best sounding acoustic guitar I've ever heard, but probably for what we're hearing with so many different layers, having it just be like more of a percussive sound is what they want. My Friend, This Is the End. And yet there's two songs after this. Okay, the acoustic guitar is gone now. Man, that kick is so massive. It sounds fantastic. Now it's back. This is surprisingly not like a happy song, which is nice. Oh my god, just when you think that they can't. Keyboard solo. Just when you think that they can't, they do. What else could they throw in? Amazing. I know I'm not saying that much. And I don't know if I should mention or not, but it's after 11 o'clock now, and I do not stay up usually very late, so 2 hours of intense listening here late at night. Usually I film videos in the morning or in the early afternoon. But I couldn't wait anymore to listen to this. Got it in the mail yesterday, could not wait. I had such high expectations, and they have been met and exceeded. And I had no right to have the expectations that I did. Love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is going to be the penultimate song we're coming up to here. Track 10, starting right now. War of the Worlds, electronic. Sorry, I'm a little bit, I'm overwhelmed. It's just so fantastic. On one hand, I don't want it to be over. I want it to go on forever. But on the other hand, it already has gone on forever, and it's been fantastic for so long. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Awesome. God, how can it be so perfect? How can it be so perfect? It is. It's perfect. Every single song so perfect. I don't even care that I look like an idiot. Oh, it's so good. I'm not even saying anything anymore. I ran out of everything to say. Okay, what are we going to do with the bridge here? Oh, little vocoder back off to the left. What are we going to do? Come back in with the chorus? Or are we going to be some sort of a solo or a musical break? Okay. They always bring me down. Words. Yep. Adding that high sort of string part off to the left here. You got to build it up on the last chorus. Turning the page to the last song. All right, here we go. Last track. My Lord. Track 11, the final track on this musical journey that we've gone through, this odyssey of music. Track 11, right now. Okay. I thought maybe it would be a ballad. But with this sound, I don't think so. I think we'll get some drums. We do have acoustic guitar, though. Oh yeah, we're building up the synth bass. A starman cannot fall. Ooh, I love that. Oh, that's such a cool synth sound. Oh. There's like a warble on it. Very cool. Oh, those little claps. All right, what kind of a chorus are we going to get here? Oh, so it's a song about David Bowie. Could have been a real brass instrument there. Maybe I need to listen to David Bowie more. Or at all, really. Oh, the structuring of this song and the way it sounds, not with the acoustic guitar, the shakers and stuff. This feels more like an and one song, sort of. I really hope this song doesn't fade out. I don't think it would, though. None of the songs have. Kind of a fun, sad, but kind of a fun little song to end it off there. And that's it. My expectations for this album were incredibly high, and they had no right to be, based on, I heard a few samples of, like I said, I was on the And One Facebook page. They posted a link to it somehow. I clicked on it, followed the link. I heard like a sample of one song they put on YouTube in a video, and I was like, this is amazing. I think it was just the first track. I was like, this is amazing. I'll wait till October 29th and, see if I can purchase it and just take a chance and be like, I love And One so much. They haven't released music in 7 years. Anyway, I the day that this Joke J album came out, I listened to a few samples, and I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. Just clicking around through certain songs, I was like, this sounds really nice and very different. And I checked the endings of a few songs to just make sure they didn't all fade out, because if multiple songs on an album fade out, that can really ruin it for me. And I know that's kind of a silly thing. And I've had many videos on my channel here where I've talked about that. And this album didn't have a single song that faded out, so we don't need to worry about that now. But, I checked it, and I just thought, I felt it in my soul that this was going to be a special album. Double album, 21 songs, one instrumental song. The instrumental song was about 1 minute and 40 seconds long. It was amazing the whole time. Big beat, And I just felt it. And I just thought, I want this. And I looked on Amazon, and it was $25. And I was like, oh, I've only spent over $20 on a CD maybe 5 or 6 times ever. Every one of those times has been a band from overseas, which I live in Nebraska, middle of the United States, and I bought several Nephew albums from a Danish website. I bought a couple of Japanese albums that have cost me a little bit of money, the 2 Maximum, the Hormone albums. I bought the Kaiser's Orchestra stuff. That cost me a little bit. They're my favorite band. And I just felt it. And I felt it, and the universe smiled at me and said, here's an album for you. Here's an album that was made for you. Here's the perfect album for you. Because to me, that's what this was. It was, every song was a full song. There was nothing to complain about. Every song was... I said at the beginning of this video that I don't know if people are going to find a way to listen along with me. And I don't have like a following or anything on YouTube or anything. And I don't know if I have any friends of my own, personal friends that just sort of click through some of my videos. But if you are watching this video and you skipped to the end to see my review of this album, you missed one of the greatest albums I've ever heard in my life. And I haven't heard every album that's ever been released, but I listen to a lot of music every year. A lot. And this is one of the greatest albums I've ever heard. I cannot believe the consistency of what I heard. Okay. I need to stop just being astonished. If you're here, you skip to the end and you want to hear what the album was like, this was electronic music and rock music put together in the finest way possible, with the most perfect production that it could possibly be for something like this. The vocals were not perfect. I would say of the whole package, the vocals were definitely the thing that was lacking the most. And if the greatest singer in the world sang on this album, I could say with certainty that it was the greatest album of all time. But I didn't hate the vocalist. I didn't hate the singing. The imperfections of the vocalist added to the overall feeling of what it was. That throwback sort of 80s, almost 70s, like rock opera type thing You know, I said I feel like I've been cheated almost a little bit. That I think I would appreciate this a lot more had I been very familiar with David Bowie's catalog, because I don't know anything about David Bowie's music basically at all. I've only heard a few songs, and the songs that I did hear I didn't care for very much. And the songs that I did like a lot were his sort of more recent ones that I heard. Um, and so I feel like David Bowie definitely a huge influence on this album. But just there was a lot of awesome, like there were several like intense four to the floor, like harsher songs. The first disc had two or three songs where there was distorted heavy guitar, which was very nice. I heard samples of I think one of those songs, and in my head when I like was listening to the sample on Bandcamp, I was like, oh, this album is going to be a little bit more industrial. Was what I was thinking, because there are definitely some heavier moments in And One's catalog. Panzermensch, a military fashion show kind of with the chorus, but there are these four to the floor songs where everything gets big and it's sort of like almost like shouty electronic anthems. There are those moments, and then there is this sort of more industrial sort of sound that they had. That was almost what the whole Achtung 80, I believe, album was on here. It's very much more industrial influenced. Yeah, I think so. On Trilogy. So they do that, and that was what I was expecting more of, and I got not very much of that at all. I'm shocked with the band sound that we got. This sort of classic rock feel, almost the prog rock feel, mixed with this fantastic production. And I said it while I was listening to it, and I'll repeat it here. It is rare, I think, in all of my listening to the thousands and thousands of albums, and that is not an exaggeration. In the thousands and thousands of albums that I've heard and listened to, it is rare to find an electronic band that uses rock or metal elements. Usually it is the other way around. You have a metal band, a rock band that incorporates electronic elements. And I mentioned Apoptygma Berserk as a fantastic, probably the best example of that. An electronic band that uses rock elements. That is no longer this is how you do that. On the second disc, how you could have the song Day One followed by the song Demons. Those are like the two perfect songs to go back and listen to if you want to, if you've skipped ahead and you're just listening to my review here. Because Day One is an electronic four to the floor, very cool, has sort of a sci-fi theme, very cool, really catchy chorus that kind of bumps up halfway through, really neat. And then Demons, that's Day One. Demons was the acoustic guitar-y sort of rock sounding, and it's so cool. It just more of the sort of like band sound. So those are two juxtaposing sort of sounds, and that juxtaposing those forces that are fighting each other, the electronic and the band, that work so well on this album that shouldn't work as good as they do, are all over the whole album. Every song is one of those two things with either more rock band or more electronic. And the fact that it's all mixed so perfectly, this is a monster of an album. A monster, an absolute monster. And it is edited perfectly. It is mixed perfectly. It was recorded perfectly. It was mastered perfectly. I kept mentioning it several times throughout when I was listening. A song would feel as big as it could get, and then it would still get bigger. And I don't know how that's possible. The songs, well, I do know how it's possible. It's adding different things here and different things there, and having a song build as it goes through, and getting into the third chorus and having that be the climax of the song, and dropping things down for sections and big, I understand how it gets bigger, but just the mixing and the mastery of the technology to make this album sound the way that it did cannot be understated. It is true masterpiece in that regard. Like I said, the only negative that I could see would be if someone would listen and they wouldn't like his voice or like his singing. But also, as I said, his voice and the imperfections in it gave added to the overall character of the album. There were several songs where I got sort of like a typo negative gothic feel. There were songs that gave me sort of an and one feel, which makes sense because I know for a fact now that I've heard this guy sing on 20 songs, I know that there are vocals in some of the and one songs that he sang. And that's great. I think I knew that everyone in the band sang like different parts and whatnot, but now I can put it, when I listen to older and one songs and stuff and I hear a part he sings, I can be like, that's that guy. So even though I think the voice is like the imperfect thing on a perfect package, the album as a whole wouldn't be as good if he wasn't the one singing on it. If that makes sense. It would still be fantastic, but the character of the album is such that one of the things that it reminds you of, it is reminiscent of the 80s when singers would sing and it sounded like they didn't care whether they were hitting the right notes or not. That sort of like punky way of approaching vocals almost. Like I think of like Flock of Seagulls or something like that, where people just had that sort of a voice where it sounded like they probably shouldn't be the singer in a band, but they were the singer in the band, and the band had cool, well-written songs, and what happened was the character of those bands stemmed from the imperfections of the rawness of everything that you were hearing. And what ends up happening is you have a performance in the vocals that comes off as being incredibly genuine. And something like that is very rare nowadays, where you have bands that use auto-tune or bands that are just perfect, that have a perfect singer. You don't have that sort of genuine performance. And I don't want to talk crap about autotune because I have heard several albums this year where they used autotune as an effect and they turned it way up. I myself, when I sing on stuff, use autotune because I'm a terrible singer and I do not have the confidence that this guy had to sing songs like this and to put it out there the way it was. And I do not want to put forth the idea that the singing is not good or great even. It's just that you can tell like that was sort of of all the different aspects in this perfect album, that's the one thing that's probably not necessarily as perfect as it could be. However, like I keep saying, that should not deter someone from listening to this. And once you listen to a couple songs, I feel like you get used to the idea of how he's singing. And then there's enough stylistic changes from song to song that it just makes sense. And he sings with different styles. And I'm only bringing that up because I don't want to just sit here and just like collapse into the amazingness that is this album. Like, but honestly, like perfection, total perfection, way more than I thought it was going to be sonically. Just like I keep saying, having all these acoustic elements, the drums sounded fantastic in every song that there was drums, and there were drums on every song. Perfection with the drums. Some of the songs I thought the snare wasn't as snappy as it could have been, but when you're listening to the vocals, and the vocals aren't very high frequency snappy at all, you can't have a really snappy snare because it would be fighting with the vocals. So mix-wise, it made perfect sense. The kick wasn't always massive. It was always perfect sounding for every part of a song. And I mentioned in one of the songs that the kick had this sort of like more electronic feel, this low passed, it felt intense still, but not, but a little bit more reserved in terms of the frequency usage. And then when it got to the chorus of that song, it was like they probably used a different sounding kick, or they took off the low pass or whatever, and all of a sudden that kick was driving and it was heavy, and it was pushing the song along in a way that it wasn't doing before. And that's what you should do in a chorus. The chorus should feel bigger if that's what you're going for. The chorus should feel bigger. And the songwriting, the song arranging, the instrumentation, the recording of that instrumentation was all implemented perfectly in these songs to fully utilize every different aspect of what the songs were meant to be and are. Even the acoustic guitars were recorded really well. They were all just strummed and they were just being used as a percussive element. And you could really hear that pick sound, and so But the thing is, if you would have had it, recorded different with a different sort of style, it wouldn't have fit this song, because while you may start a song off with just an acoustic guitar, that acoustic guitar has to exist in the space of the song. And when the rest of the song is this awesome hybrid electronic rock sound, it has to fit within that. And so I think even the acoustic guitars were done perfectly. The electric guitar was fantastic throughout. There were several heavy songs on the first disc, no really heavy songs on the second disc in terms of heavy guitar, distorted guitar, but there was tasty guitar throughout. But never flashy, always exactly what it needed to be. The vocals were exactly what it needed to be. Lots of layering. When you have a vocalist that's not perfect, that vocalist oftentimes will try to hide behind layers. That did not happen here. However, they did to perfection, again, utilize the different layers, overdubbing, background vocals, having the choral samples in some of the songs, using those vocal synth sample patches, just all adding up to that sort of 80s throwback, synth feel, but while keeping it modern. But at the same time, the vocalist, again, felt like he wasn't this young guy, really. It felt like there was a weight to his voice, and he's singing about things lyrically that can be a little bit heavy at times, but also fun, like some sci-fi inspired stuff, like I said, definitely with the David Bowie influence and whatnot, and having it just all come together and be done so consistently perfect throughout these 21 songs is just amazing. It's a true feat. It really is. So this is my number one album of the year. I mean, there's no question about it. And I was anticipating it being my number one album of the year without having heard even a single song in its entirety and only samples of maybe 5 songs at most. And when I say sample, I mean less than 10 seconds. So certainly I heard less than 10 minutes all total of this album, probably less than 7 minutes, because I think that first song was like 7 minutes long and I stopped at like maybe the 4-minute mark. Like, this is too cool for me to listen on. I need to buy this album and react to it and listen to it as a whole, as a piece. So I barely heard anything, and I chose to listen to my soul, purchase this sucker for more money than I would ever spend on a CD, with a few exceptions, and it just absolutely blows me away. It absolutely, there's no question this is not number one. Now, I still have albums to listen to this year. I will be shocked if anything gets I like anything this year more than this, but this album didn't need to be as good as it was, and it is absolutely everything that I want it to be. It's everything that I wanted it to be, plus so much more. Like, while I was listening to this, I was trying to think of my friends that I would share this with, and I can't think of a single person that wouldn't like this. Even my metalhead friends that just like metal would appreciate this, because you can go from something that a metalhead might like a cool kind of classic rock throwback song, to this intense, heavy, driving electronic song and they all sound perfect. It all sounds perfect together. It's absolutely incredible. And I'm tired, and I can't even believe it. It's absolutely incredible. If by some chance the guys who made this album ever see this video, or any of it word ever gets back to them, thank you for making this album. And I wish it would have been more easily, readily available, and I wish I could share this with everybody. Sending them some link to listen to the files online. I can obviously share the Bandcamp page, and everybody that hears this should want to purchase it immediately. But thank you for making this album, because this is one of the most amazing albums I've ever heard, let alone the best album I think I've heard this year. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Definitely the best electronic music I heard this year, without a doubt. But I haven't really been listening to a lot of electronic music this year. But nothing like this, nothing even close to this. There's not a lot of bands out there that have this sort of sound. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for watching this video. If anybody watched this entire thing, hats off to you. I'm pretty sure no one ever will, but whatever. I'm happy I can't even. I can't even. Thank you for watching the video, and share this music with everybody that you know. Find a way to do it. Whatever country you live in, whatever state you live in, if you're in the United States, whatever kind of music you like, whatever kind of music your brother, your sister, your mother, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, your kid, whatever they listen to, make them listen to this album. Pick your favorite song and make them listen to it. Then pick your least favorite song and listen to it, because that might be their favorite song. Good luck finding a song that's your least favorite song, though. Until next time.